Hi, I'm Bob. Let's continue working through the exercises from the textbook Microeconomics, Theory and Applications with Calculus, the 5th edition by Professor Jeffrey Perloff. We are currently in the second section, Capital Markets and Investing, of Chapter 15, which covers factor markets. We will tackle the following 8 exercises today. Let's solve exercise 2.9. Discussing the $350 price of a ticket for one of her concerts. Barbara said if you amortize the money over 28 years, it is $12.50 a year. So, is it worth $12.50 a year to see me sing, to hear me sing live? Under what condition is it useful for an individual to apply her rule to decide whether to go to the concert? What do we know about the discount rate of a person who makes such a purchase? If the personal discount rate is 0, the present value of a stream of payments of $12.50 for 28 years will be $350. The individual who applies Miss Barbara's rule must have a 0 discount rate. However, if the discount rate is positive, that is, if the person places a higher value on current consumption than future consumption, as most of us do, the present value should be much less than $350. For example, if the discount rate is 5%, the present value will be around $195. Let's go to exercise 2.10. If you spend $4 a day on a latte for the rest of your life, what is your personal discounted value at a 3% interest rate? We compute the present value of a stream of payments, F, forever. Notice that the annual interest rate is 3%, and we should convert it into the daily discount rate. The present value will be $48,666.67. Let's find answers to exercise 2.11. At a 10% interest rate, do you prefer to buy a firm for $100 or to rent the same firm for $10 a year? Does your answer depend on how long you think the firm will last? The present value of the first method is $100. Given that the interest rate is 10%, the present value of the second method is $100 if the firm can last forever. The two methods are indifferent. If the firm cannot last forever, the present value is smaller than $100. It is preferred to rent the firm. Let's answer exercise 2.12. A firm is considering an investment in which its cash flow is Pi1 equals $1 million, Pi2 equals minus $12 million, Pi3 equals $20 million, and Pi-t equals 0 for all other t. The interest rate is 7%. Use the net present value rule to determine whether the firm should make the investment. Can the firm use the internal rate of return rule to make this decision? we compute the net present value of the investment. It is positive, so the firm should make the investment. Let's solve exercise 2.13. With the end of the Cold War, the US government decided to downsize the military. Along with a pink slip, the government offered ex-military personnel their choice of $8,000 a year for 30 years or an immediate lump sum payment of $50,000. The lump sum option was chosen by 92% of enlisted personnel and 51% of officers. What is the break-even personal discount rate at which someone would be indifferent between the two options? What can you conclude about the personal discount rates of the enlisted personnel and officers? We use the approximation as if the annual payment of $8,000 is forever. The present value is the annual payment divided by the discount rate. For the two payment methods to be indifferent, their present values should be identical. It results in a break-even personal discount rate of 16%. If the personal discount rate is higher than 16%, the individual cares more about current consumption and therefore will choose the lump sum payment of $50,000. This is an approximation. Now the annual payment is for 30 years instead of forever, so the break-even personal discount rate should be higher than 16%. We know that 92% of enlisted personnel and 51% of officers have a personal discount rate higher than 16%. Let's solve exercise 2.14. Dell Computer makes its suppliers wait 37 days on average to be paid for their goods. However, Dell is paid by its customers immediately. Thus, Dell earns interest on this float, the money that is implicitly borrowing. If Dell can earn an annual interest rate of 4%, what is this float worth to Dell per dollar spent on inputs? If the suppliers wait for 365 days, Dell earns $0.04 for each dollar. If the suppliers wait for 37 days, Dell earns $0.004 or 0.4 cents for each dollar borrowed. Let's find answer to exercise 2.15. It is about a $210 million 7-year contract. Reportedly, he will be paid $10 million in 2015, $15 million in 2016 to 2018, and $35 million in 2019 to 2021. However, the $105 million for the years 2019 to 2021 will be deferred without interest until 2028. In addition, the $50 million signing bonus will be spread equally over the 7 years of the contract. At what interest rate is the present value $210 million? What is the present value of this contract if the interest rate is 3%? We write the present value of the stream of payments. If the interest rate is 3%, the present value will be $203.27 million. If the interest rate is 0, the present value will be $210 million. Let's address exercise 2.16. Your gasoline car gets only 10 miles to the gallon and has no resale value, but you are sure that it will last 5 years. You know that you can always buy a used car for $8,000 that gets 20 miles to the gallon. A gallon of gas costs $2 and you drive 6,000 miles a year. If the interest rate is 5% and you are interested only in saving money, should you buy a car now rather than wait until your current car dies? Would you make the same decision if you face a 10% interest rate? We compare the present values of the costs for the two cases. The present value of the cost of driving the current car for 5 years and then buying a used car is as follows, where I is the interest rate. The present value of the cost of purchasing a used car now and then driving it for 5 years is as follows. If the interest rate is 5%, the latter costs less. If the interest rate is 10%, the former costs less. Therefore, if the interest rate is 5%, we should purchase a used car now. And if the interest rate is 10%, we should buy the car later until the current car dies. Thank you so much for watching this video and solving all the exercises with me today. See you soon. Take care. Thank you for watching this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. See you next time.